Hello traders, welcome back to the weekly market analysis. Let's get going and start off with the DXY. If you remember last week we were expecting DXY to develop a consolidation here, hit this level, and then we were seeing that we'll wait for a reaction. And the way things are looking right now, we expect here the price to either give us a sell setup from here, breaking this level and then making a consolidation. This would be our first scenario, and then the price will drop to break this low and head towards the 70.5 Fibonacci level, or it might crawl a bit more towards the upside, hit the second level, and then drop, creating this new lower low and aiming for the 70.5 level. We're waiting for a correction similar to this one here if it decides to be more complex, but at the same time it could be also a short one. If you look at this one here, this has loads of similarities inside if you look at the patterns that it's forming. So that's why we look at these two scenarios. If we get a consolidation similar to this one, then we'll drop from here, and the other possibility is that we get a deeper pullback, hit this level, and then drop, which would be a similar pattern to this one as price range and time. So pay close attention to these two scenarios and wait for your sell setups. Before we move on to EURUSD, I'd like to let you guys know that we just dropped our first version of our trading ebook. So if you're interested, head over to our website, subscribe to our newsletter, and you can download for free our trading ebook. You'll find loads of interesting stuff. It's a beginner's guide, but it's good for advanced traders as well, because it's full of good stuff here. We put together loads of content that will help you along the way, starting from how to choose a broker to a few tips that every trader should know and remind itself about them. We also went through the key aspects of the forex market. Then we dived into the technical part, in which we went through the whole stuff that we use at financial flagship. So this could be good for you guys in order for you to better understand our analysis that we do on a weekly basis, and make an idea on the principles that we use and so on. And at the same time, you can find loads of patterns that we encounter in the market on a regular basis. So you have here loads of stuff that I'm definitely sure that it will help you. And last but not least, the psychological section, which in my opinion is the most important for all of us. Even if you're a beginner or if you're an advanced trader, the psychology plays a big role in your success, so you never stop learning. And you can find all of it here inside our free trading ebook by subscribing to our newsletter on our website, downloading it for free. You'll receive an email with the content, and I hope you guys will enjoy reading it. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button, also subscribe to our channel. And now let's move on to EURUSD. For EURUSD, the price dropped as we expected it to do, as a consolidation. A good area to watch for this week would be this level highlighted here. There's loads of liquidity sitting below, so the price might consolidate a bit, drop, and then we'll look for our bullish reaction towards the upside if we get it. For Pound USD, last week we were expecting the price to break the top at the beginning of the week. Unfortunately, it didn't. And afterwards, we were saying that we will expect the price to pull back. And the way things are looking, this pullback here could take a bit more time. We can consolidate here a bit, drop towards this trend line, and we should start looking for buy setups from here. If not, there's also a possibility that this might pull back a bit deeper. There's a fair value gap area highlighted here in which the price can fill, and then we could get our buy setup. So two levels to watch: this trend line, this fair value gap area, and if you get a reaction on either one of them, we have a good chance to go towards the upside. For dollar yen last week, if you remember, we were expecting the price to consolidate in the beginning of the week, and as you can see, this happened, and afterwards we spiked down pretty hard. And the way things are looking right now, we expect here the price to make a pullback. We don't have divergence on the MACD, so this is a good indication that the price will consolidate here, maybe reach this level, and then drop again. A correction similar to this one is on the cards, so pay close attention to it, wait for it to develop, and if you get a sell setup, don't hesitate and take it, because this at some point will go back down and create a new lower low. For Australian dollar versus the US dollar, if you remember, last week we were saying that we expect a pullback to occur here, and so far so good. Two scenarios in play: either we will start going up from here, and if we break this level, then this would be a good buy setup for us, because this will have a good chance to break this top. Or the second scenario is that the price might drop, take these two lows here because we have equal lows. So there's loads of liquidity sitting at this level. And afterwards, there's a good chance that the price might be pushing back up again, taking this top. So pay attention to these two scenarios that I presented and patiently wait for the one that unfolds towards the upside. For USDCAD last week, if you remember, we were expecting the price to make here a pullback, and the way things are looking right now, we expect two bearish scenarios. So first one is that the price will drop from the current levels, take out this low, but if that happens, there won't be any sell setup. And the second one will be that the price will increase a bit, hit this liquidity level here. And if we get a reaction towards the downside, a strong impulse followed by a consolidation, then this is your trade for a new low inside this zone. For gold last week, we were saying that we would like to see a pullback in order for us to get into the buys, because the way the price was reacting last week, I was saying that this consolidations here could be hit and runs because the price at some point will have to pull back deep and it will take you out. And we were saying that if you guys get into the buy, be careful because after it creates a new higher height, there's a good chance that it might drop and create a deeper pullback. And that's why we were saying in the previous video that every trade that you take here after it creates a new higher high, you should take profits or move stops into profits because it can drop and take you out. So as you can see, this is the risk, and the way things are looking right now, the price started to pull back, broke this trend line here, consolidated underneath, and then created a new lower low that has the potential to go a bit lower than the level that it is right now. And if that happens, we expect first a consolidation and one more drop. It's a bit early to look for buy setups from our perspective, so we have to wait for a few signals. Even if this doesn't drop and take out this low, I'd like to see a strong impulse towards the upside followed by consolidation. This will be the signal that I would be looking for a buy setup. And if that happens, you know what you have to do. For silver last week, we were expecting a consolidation and then a move towards the upside that will make a new higher high. Instead, the price decided to drop a lot and hit this fair value gap area. And as you can see here, the price didn't fill this zone, so there's a good chance that it might consolidate at the beginning of the week and then start to drop. There's also a good chance that it might get a bit deeper, hit this level, and from there we should look for a reaction towards the upside. If this consolidates here, I would advise you guys to sell it because in the grand scheme of things this is pretty bullish, so this might be a bear trap here. So keep an eye out on these two levels that I was preaching about. This one here, wait for the price to go in a bit deep inside this zone, or if it has a lot of momentum with it, wait for the second area and wait for your reaction towards the upside. For oil last week, we were saying that as long as the price doesn't break this level and goes above the trend line consolidating, there is no setup towards the upside. And we were saying that this has a good chance to take out these lows here. So as you can see, the price made a flag and then dropped, creating a new lower low. Good news about this one is that we have divergence between the previous two lower lows. And this means that we might get here either a deeper consolidation towards the trend line for one more drop, which will give you a crossover in the MACD and then another piece of divergence. Or the second scenario, which I would love to see, would be a strong breakout through this first trend line here, consolidation, and if that happens, that would be a nice chance to get into the buys. I'm still confident that we'll hit the 100 level soon. Don't forget that this is a pullback in the grand scheme of things because this trend here is pretty strong. We're coming back down from zero, if you remember. So we have to correct and we have to make a pullback. So if we don't get a breakout here, there's no need to wait for a buy setup. Then if that happens, if we get towards the trend line and get the impulse towards the downside followed by a correction, then there's a chance that we might take this trade because it could go a bit lower than we expect. Okay. So these two scenarios as well for oil, you can keep an eye out. Don't jump in the buys too early. Wait for the price to consolidate here. Like I was saying, two levels to watch. The trend line, first wait for a reaction towards the downside if it gives you. And the second one is a breakout followed by a consolidation. And then this is your trade towards the upside. For natural gas, last week we were expecting the price to start slowing down and give us a sign towards the upside. Instead, the price decided to drop, creating new lower lows. You could have gone into the sales here because you had loads of pullbacks, and this was a pretty clean downtrend here. We just reached a level of equal lows, so that means that the price will consolidate here and then drop one more time to take out these lows and also gather some liquidity from this rectangle. So if we get here a consolidation, then there's a nice sell setup waiting for you guys, but it might be short to mid-term. So we have to take it step by step because this one here, I'm expecting at some point to give us a bullish reaction. So either towards this level or to break the top, we have to see which way it will go. And for that, we have to take it step by step. For S&P, last week we were expecting the price to continue to grow. And as I was saying in the previous weeks, this is trending right now. So it's pretty hard to get a setup here. So that's why I was emphasizing on this level first to be reached as a pullback and then look for your buy setups, because this is the sign that you'll get a correction, because this here eventually will correct because it needs to correct. Every impulse corrects. But at this moment in time, I'm expecting the price to continue to crawl its way up and at some point to give us this consolidation, and then we'll go with our buy setups. NASDAQ, we were expecting last week the price to hit this area here and then resume the uptrend to take out this top. We're pretty close to create a new higher high. So next week expect here a small consolidation and then a new higher high. Dow Jones, we're expecting a consolidation as well and then more momentum towards the upside. Things are looking pretty bullish here, so wait for the price to go a bit higher and then wait for a sharper pullback. This impulse here as well is pretty strong, so a drop might come in form of a correction. So don't panic if you see this. This will only be an opportunity for us to buy it and get it at a cheaper price, okay? For NIFTY, last week we were expecting the price to increase. We had some divergence, but last week I wasn't that confident in it, and I was saying that the trend here is strong and this will continue to grow and that divergence will be neglected. And as you can see, that was the case. And right now I'm expecting here correction and one more move towards the upside. The trend is pretty strong. We don't have any sell setups for now. We find ourselves at an all-time high. So there's no need to sell it from here. We don't have any signal for the downside. So wait for a pullback, correction, or a flag, and then go with this buy setup. For Bitcoin, last week we were expecting the price to increase, not this big. It took us a bit by surprise. So if you remember, we were saying that we want to see something deeper at some point. We were expecting the price to crawl its way up in a slower manner than it happened here, then give us a pullback, and this would have been our buy setups. But the way things are looking right now, the price made a lot of consolidations along the way. This is the second one. We broke the top here almost. So there's a good chance that this might continue this way, but this is not a safe place to buy, trust me, because even if this continues to create multiple higher highs like this, it will be pretty exhausting for you to trade them, and at some point you might get surprised by a pullback. So be careful when trading Bitcoin. Wait for this pullback, in my opinion. If I was you, I would wait for the price to calm down a bit, lose some momentum, and drop, and then I'll be focusing on the bullish reactions. Similar thing happened to Ether. Last week we were expecting the price to increase, but at some point we were saying that it should drop. It didn't. It continued to go back up. So the trend is pretty strong here. We are pretty bullish on the cryptos. The only problem is that we need a deeper pullback to occur here at some point, either from here, either from a higher level. Let it make continuous higher highs, and at some point the trend will get exhausted and it will drop into a pullback, and then we can buy it together and go to the moon. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that like button, also subscribe to our channel, and if you have any other requests for any other instruments that you'd like us to cover, feel free to jump in the comment section below. Let us know your pair and we'll analyze it in the coming week, either midweek, either on the weekly market analysis stream. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful trading week ahead, and see you on the next one.